A 61-year-old grandfather is suing Macy's and Sunglasses Hut over the store's alleged use of facial recognition technology, which led to his wrongful arrest, imprisonment, and sexual assault in jail. Harvey Eugene Murphy Jr. was wrongfully accused and arrested on charges of robbing thousands of dollars of cash and merchandise from a Sunglasses Hut store in Houston, Texas on January 22nd, based on facial recognition software. Although he was native to Texas, Murphy was actually living in California at the time of the armed robbery at this Sunglasses Hut store. Nonetheless, in October of 2023, when Murphy returned to Texas from California to renew his driver's license, he was approached by a police officer who notified him that there was a warrant out for his arrest for aggravated robbery.
Another one.
Sunglass Hut and Macy's for using the facial recognition software that led to his false imprisonment. The dangers of using this technology is also outlined in court documents.
I know for a fact that studies have showed that African Americans have a high rate of false positives based on facial recognition software. I also know comparing people who are older with pictures of them, of other people when younger, so age gaps have a very high rate, up to 90% of false positives.
According to his lawyer, Murphy has long-standing physical and psychological injuries, and he is now coming forward to raise awareness and hopefully prevent this from happening to someone else.
So we were all able to hear that, right? So you had a 61-year-old grandfather minding his business, coming back from California, coming to get a brand new driver's license or license, what have you. As he proceeded to get that, you had a cop that came from behind the desk or whatever, told him, hey, you got a warrant out for your arrest. You have to come with us. And then they proceeded to, take him through the process. And while basically holding him and him basically stating that, yo, that wasn't me, I wasn't even here, and him having all the evidence showing that he wasn't there, they were like, okay, well, we see that you weren't here. It was a mistake. But during that whole time, this man was held at weapon point with a shank, and he was violently assaulted by men in jail. And not only that, he also had to stay in the exact same cell or area as the men that perpetrated the assault against him. That man is never in life going to be the same. He is never going to feel safe at all. He is always going to feel some type of shame. I realistically wish that they did not release his name. I feel when it comes to things or subjects like that, a person's name, unless they want it to be released, should not be released. It's a shame when we have things like this that happen in society. And this all took place because of facial recognition technology, which you even heard a lawyer state that there's more of a likely chance that an innocent black person can get pinned or blamed for a crime that they didn't commit, such as the example that you heard. It was already enough that they blamed him for a crime that he that he didn't do. But now he has trauma. Now he's going to need therapy, and therapy is probably not going to work. Now he's going to have a lot of sadness and a lot of anger. He's going to have depression. There's going to be a lot of things there. A lot of things there. And there's not going to be a soul on this planet that's going to be able to make that right. There's not going to be a God in this universe that can make this okay, that can take all of that pain and anguish away from that man. The only thing that he can basically do is sue. The thing that should took place is the names of the individuals who did this to him. Their name should be plastered and blasted. I don't care if they're locked up or not. It should be plastered and blasted all over social media so that both friends and family know who these individuals are, because it makes no sense how they get a type of anonymity after committing this type of crime. That's ridiculous to me. Because if they're willing to do this behind bars, what do you think that they're willing to do once they get out? It's going to be so far worse. And the other people that need to get sued as well as the COs, the jail, the warden, the families of the individuals who did this. This lawsuit can be going on for a long time. Once he gets that $10 million, if not more, he needs to go back and sue everybody else. Because there's a multitude of people that are accomplices in why it is that he was able to go through what it is that he was able to go through. There is not any amount of money on this planet that is going to make that man whole. That's going to make that man who he was before he got back to his home state. None. And again, it's amazing to me that when incidences like this happen, like people always want to state that, oh, you know what it is that women go through and we need to fight for women. You never hear the same energy from said women or said groups when it deals with men who have to go through these occurrences. The same things that women have to face, right? You never hear women advocating and being vocal online, talking about we need to raise up, we need to speak about this. You don't hear it because they don't care. Because from what I've understood and learned is that the only people that have a corner on that type of hurt and pain are only women. If it happens to a man, well, it happens to a man. It is what it is. Like I said, this world is jacked up in a multitude of angles and in a multitude of ways. And people will always continue to allow it to be jacked up just so that they can wake up and have something to complain about. Because remember, life gets boring the moment in time that every problem is fixed. Because too many people are used to being consumed in being able to siphon off of chaos. Nobody's going to know how to act when problems are actually situated and fixed the way that they should be, handled the way that they should be. My condolences to any men out there that have ever gone through the same thing. I am so sorry that you've ever had to go through this. I'm sorry that you've ever had to see this or be around this, because no human being should ever have to deal with this at all. Things like this drastically change a human being for the worse. I can only hope that somehow, some way, that whatever this man has left, he's able to hold on to that part of him so that he doesn't fall into a deep abyss of violence.